Hi, I'm Sam Chi and at Stitch and Steel Homestead, and this is our bottle lamb, Briar. Hey, Briar. Briar came to us because a friend of mine has a a flock of sheep, and Briar's mom just would not take to her, so she wasn't taking care of her, she wasn't feeding her, and a bottle lamb is a lot of work, and not everyone has the time for that all the time. So she asked us if we happened to know anybody who was looking for a bottle lamb, and we said, well, let's give it a try. Having Briar here is good practice because if our goats end up rejecting any of their kids, we'll need to bottle feed them. So it's good to have some idea of how that goes before we're kind of thrown into it for the first time with maybe as many as 8 kids. So having one lamb here to figure out things with is actually really nice. And she's the sweetest little lamb. She's just like a puppy dog. She follows the kids around everywhere, plays with them. It's just the greatest thing. When Briar's a little bit older, she's going to go and live in the same stall as our goats. I'm calling the grouping a flerd since sheep live in flocks and goats live in herds, so the two combined will be our flerd. Briar is a dual-purpose sheep, so they are used for both their fleeces and their meat. She's a Romney lamb, and so when we breed her male offspring, her ram lambs, will be sold, probably, become freezer lambs, and her ewe lambs will give me more fibers to play with. I don't know if I've mentioned this before on our little channel, but I also knit and weave, and I'm being given a spinning wheel, so I get to learn how to spin. And so I'm really excited about having my own fiber animals that I can work with their fleeces. So that's a really exciting new step for our farm. Briar was about 4 days old when she first came to us, and now she is she'll be 3 weeks old on Monday, so in 3 days she'll be 3 weeks old, and we've learned a lot. We've gone from 4 daily bottle feedings down to 3 daily bottle feedings, so that's getting a little bit easier to deal with as well. We've learned about a couple of conditions that come up. She had what we thought was maybe pink eye, but it's called entropion, which means her bottom eyelid was kind of rolled inwards and her eyelashes were irritating the eyeball. She's grown into her skin enough now that the eyelid has rolled back out and it's not irritating the eyeball anymore. Now we just need the residual infection to clear up. So if you see some shots where she's got kind of purple on her face, that's just from the medication. She's just starting to explore eating things besides her bottle of milk. So she's tasting grasses and tasting hay, and she's even tried tasting the alfalfa pellets that the big girls get. So she's just starting to figure out what else is out there besides milk. You little one. For now, just for her safety, we've got Briar in her own little stall by herself. We do short supervised daytime plays with the goats, but until she's a little bit older and a little more robust, we're not going to put her in with them full time or overnight. So just supervised visits at this point, and we make sure that we give her lots of affection so she's not lonely. We've also got a radio on in the barn now so that, there's a little bit of sound to keep her from feeling quite so alone. As you can see, she's got a very inquisitive personality, and she's just curious about everything she encounters. She's got to smell it, got to check it out. I took her on a little road trip with me. I went out to London to buy some new rabbits, and I could hardly get her to eat her bottles on the trip because she just wanted to know what was going on and was so curious about everything happening around her. Just a little busybody lammy, huh? Just a little busybody, but she weathered that trip like a trooper, and had a lot of fun that day. We chose to have Briar's tail banded when she was about a week old. In our climate, it's just too damp. So breeds with really long tails, like Briar's, they tend to make a mess of themselves with their urine and feces, and it just kind of gets matted and stays very wet all the time back there when they've got the long tail that gets saturated and sodden. And the problem with that is then flies like to lay their eggs and raise their maggots in that moist gross environment, and the sheep can get a condition called fly strike, where the maggots start eating into the skin on their back end, and it's excruciatingly painful, and it can kill them. So we've opted, generally we try to be as minimally invasive as we can here with any procedures we use on our sheep or any animals. But we've decided that it's really in Briar's best interest not to have a long, heavy, sodden, wet tail. So it's been banded. It's docked at about 2 inches, and shortly it should fall off, and she'll be a lot healthier in the long run without the long tail. So thanks for joining us and welcoming Briar to the Flird. If you have any more questions about her, you can ask me about them in the comments down below. Have a great day.